Welcome all. I am going to present about reducing wheel and velocity compounded and the details about advantage and disadvantages of velocity compounding method. Let's start. Methods of reducing wheel or rotary blade speed. If the steam is expended from the boiler pressure in one stage, the speed of the motor becomes tremendously high, which crops up practical complications. Reduction methods utilize a multiple system of rotor in series keyed on a common shaft, and the steam pressure or jet velocity is observed in stages as the steam flow over the blades. This is known as compounding. The different methods of compounding are there. First one velocity compounding, second one pressure compounding, third one pressure velocity compounding, finally reaction turbine. The velocity compounded impulse turbine was first proposed by C.G. Curtis to solve the problem of single stage impulse turbine for use of high pressure and temperature steam. The rings of moving blades are separated by rings of fixed blades. The moving blades are keyed to the turbine shaft and the fixed blades are fixed to the casing. The high pressure steam coming from the boilers is expended in the nozzle. First, the nozzle converts the pressure energy of steam into kinetic energy. It is interesting to note that the total enthalpy drop and hence the pressure drop occur in the nozzle. Hence, the pressure thereafter remains constant. The high velocity steam is directed onto the first set ring or of moving blades as the steam flows over the blades. Due to the shape of the blades, it imparts some of its momentum to the blades and loses some velocity. Here, the schematic diagram is showing that reaction turbine working principle. In that left hand side, nozzle will supply. This is impulsive turbine schematic diagram. Here nozzle will supply the steam at moving blade entrance, and the instead of in the previous slide in the previous part we have seen that a guided blade will guide the steam to the moving blade, but in this case the directly nozzle will use to convey the steam into the moving blade. Because of that, initial velocity tremendously increased to achieve the required uh, rotator movement, and after entering the steam conveyed to fixed blade, which means that guided blade will guide to the steam uh, into the next moving blade. In the cycle will be continuing from one end to another end. Finally, the steam will exit. In the bottom of the schematic diagram is clearly showing that initial pressure and the initial velocity at left hand side, and that outlet pressure and outlet velocity at right hand side. In the initial pressure is higher after entering into the nozzle, steam initial pressure dropped down, uh, as well as the velocity of initial steam is so higher compared with at a starting stage. After that, the steam velocity little reduced and maintained at constant level, but the pressure drop is maintaining at constant level from starting point of or entrance of moving blade to exit of the moving blade or exit of the steam. Only a part of the high kinetic energy is absorbed by these plates. The remainder is exhausted onto the next ring of the fixed blade. The function of the fixed blades is to redirect the steam leaving from the first ring moving blades to the second ring of moving blades. There is no change in the velocity of the steam as it passes through the fixed blades. The steam then enters the next ring of moving blades. This process is repeated until practically all the energy of the steam has been absorbed. And the advantages and disadvantages also enclosed at this end of the slide. Velocity compounded impulse turbine requires a comparatively small number of stages due to relatively large heat drop per stage, which means the initial velocity will be increased when the steam pressure dropped down. Once dropped the steam pressure, after that the steam pressure is continuously maintained that constant level till exit the steam. But initially that increased velocity of the steam further dropped down, and then it will be keep on dropping up to that exit of steam turbine. Due to small number of stages, the initial cost is less. In two, due to the small number of stage means that fixed blade and moving blade will be located in that less number due to the nozzle provisions. Because of the nozzle, we can achieve that initial high velocity and pressure drop. Due to the pressure drop, we can able to regulate the rotator of the shaft. In order to we can get the required controlled speed of the shaft, and in 2 or 3 row wheel the steam temperature is sufficiently low, hence a cast iron cylinder may be used, thus saving material cost. Because of the less number of stages, we can able to reduce the weight as well as material as well as cost of the product. In order to we can make it convenient to economical growth, as well as we can able to generate the power as much as simple. And the disadvantages of this process, the velocity compounded impulsive turbine has low efficiency and high steam consumption. Within this I will conclude these topics. We further discuss in the next